Brothers and sisters, we as Muslims have a problem. And that problem is that we believe everything that we hear without consulting that individual. Someone might come up to you and say, so-and-so said this, and so-and-so did that. And we believe it in our hearts without confronting him, without talking to him. And this leads to a lot of corruption and a lot of chaos between the Muslims. So brothers and sisters, even if the odds are stacked against your brother, even if it's 90% chance that what you heard is true, there's still that 10% chance that it's not true. Believe it and talk to him and find out. Because of that small possibility, even if it's less than that, 5%, 2%. If there's a possibility that what you heard is not true, they do not believe it. Some people believe every rumor they hear without consulting that individual. Imagine the whole life they have it in their hearts that so-and-so did this. And bam, all of a sudden they realize that the truth is not what was in their hearts. They realize that this person was innocent and that it wasn't like as they heard. And all of these problems, why? Because that individual didn't talk to that Muslim brother, didn't confront him, didn't ask him, is this true? I heard this. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam said in the hadith, كَفَى بِالْمَرْءِ كَذِبًا أَنْ يُحَدِّثَ بِكُلِّ مَا سَمِعَ. Prophet Dawood alayhi salam had a similar incident when two men came to him. One man had 99 sheep and one man had one. And this was mentioned in the Quran that they came to him and they asked for a judgment. The one who had one sheep said that this person is trying to take my sheep. He has all these sheep and he's trying to take mine. And Prophet Dawood alayhi salam gave that judgment for that individual without confronting, without consulting that other man. Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, all of the prophets, as you know, are protected from blasphemy, from kufr, before revelation and after revelation. And they are also protected from committing major sins and small sins which have ugliness, violence in it. Now what happened to Prophet Dawood alayhi salam is not from these categories. Something occurred for him, but it is not from this, something minute which has no violence and no ugliness in it. And this was mentioned in the Quran. And similarly, had the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam believed everything they heard about him. And frankly, the people of Quraysh at that time, they used to say many things which are not true. They used to call the Prophet a poet. They used to call him a magician. They used to say that he was a liar. All of these things. And had they believed these things, they would have not reached the levels they had. But they are intelligent. And they followed the Prophet ﷺ and they spoke to him and they inquired and they, alhamdulillah, they embraced, many of them embraced the religion of Islam. As was the case for one of the companions. His name was Tufail ibn Amr. That he went to the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and he consulted him. He said, my people are telling me this, this and this about you. Is it true? Is it true? And to the point, before this, he used to believe it. To the point he used to walk with cotton in his ears. Imagine, cotton in his ears. He did not want to hear the Quran. He did not want to hear about Islam. And this is how he was. He used to walk in the streets with cotton in his ear to protect himself from hearing the message of Islam. But whoever Allah Ta'ala will to be guided, shall be guided. And he was guided to the Prophet ﷺ. And he asked him, he said, what I've heard about you, is it true? And the Prophet said, no. Then he said, tell me about the religion of Islam. And the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ taught him and told him what Islam was, and he embraced Islam. This great companion, because he's intelligent. He knows that everything people say is not true. So you have to endeavor, you have to seek, you need to inquire, is this thing that you heard true about your Muslim brother or not? This is the morale, this is the lesson that we can take from these great companions. So this great companion, Tufail ibn Amr, after embracing the religion of Islam, went to the Prophet ﷺ and said, Ya Rasulullah, I am from the tribe of Dos and I am respected. The people will listen to me. I want to teach them the religion of Islam. So give me an ayah, give me a sign. And the Prophet ﷺ made dua for him that Allah Ta'ala gives them a sign to persuade the people, to encourage them. So as he was traveling to this tribe, this sign that the Prophet ﷺ made dua for was evident. And it was that his face was illuminated. His face was illuminated. Light was coming from his face. But the problem was that the people of his tribe, something like this was considered strange. So this companion made dua and he said, Allahumma fi ghayri wajhi, O Allah, in other than my face. So this light that was emanating from his face was taken to another part. But it was still with him. So he was traveling, and imagine a flood of lights behind him, following him. MashaAllah ta'ala. This is from the great blessings of the religion of Islam. This is from the iman that he has now in his heart. So this great companion, he would not have reached this had he believed everything he heard from those people, from the people of Quraysh. All those lies, all those fabrications, had he listened to them, Allah Ta'ala knows best what would have happened. So brothers and sisters, inshallah Ta'ala, we implement this in our lives, in our families, at work, at school, outside in the public, privately. We should have this type of manner, and believe me, brothers and sisters, if we do this, we will have a better life.